Welcome to my first acrylic painting video. I took the reference photo for this one myself. It's from our last holiday in Ireland. I've used a lot of those reference photos so far, but usually with watercolor paintings. I'll try and include the reference photo in the description below in case you want to try and paint along with me. So first I'm sketching out with my paintbrush where the mountains should go and kind of just trying out some colors to see if they match my reference photo. I'm not going to go for super realistic with this. It just should be a quick and kind of loose painting, which I don't so very often do. And yeah, so I think next I am painting in the sky. I'm going to paint the surface white as base, and I'm going to be working wet into wet. I've mixed a kind of a purplish grey using ultramarine blue and burnt sienna and some cadmium red, I think. And yeah, I'm working wet into wet. I was kind of surprised how long the acrylic paint stayed wet for this. And I just kept going, putting in clouds and blending them out, putting in some more white, blending it out. Yeah, until I finally had the result I liked. I think I ended up with a much more dramatic sky than my reference photo actually entailed. But I still like the way it turned out. I love dramatic skies, and photos from Ireland are always very good for that. The trick with blending wet into wet is just really working fast and yeah, just kind of moving around your paintbrush and smudging out so you don't have any harsh edges. Although maybe you'd want some harsh edges with clouds, some soft edges and some harsh edges, and I do come back in later when the sky has dried and add some more definition. Since I started working with watercolors more again, I've really started mixing a lot more. So I'm barely using any black for this. I might have added a little bit of black in, but mostly I mix my dark colors now with ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, especially if I'm working with watercolor. But even here, it kind of gives you more of a natural color palette and a more cohesive picture all in all. So I'm painting in the back mountain range, and I'm using a relatively light color. It's also basically the same colors I used as for the sky. It's a bluish grey. You will want to have your background more blue, colder colors, and lighter, and become darker and more vibrant towards the front, normally speaking, and warmer colors towards the front. Now for the next mountain, I've added in a little bit of green, and it's a lot darker than the back mountain range. And then smudging some white over it. And now I'm jumping around a bit, so the back will dry. Putting in some cadmium red with some blue, so it's kind of a purpley colour, and a lot of sap green mixed in with some blue and some yellow. I'm kind of just jumping around now. And what am I doing? Yeah, more cadmium red, adding in some blue to the green there. This all took much longer than you're seeing now, of course. It's sped up quite a lot. Going back into the background. Yeah, this landscape has a lot of green, obviously, and some red spots. There was some heather, which is also typical for Ireland. And there in the back you see me popping in a little lake. So now everything's kind of dried, and I'm going to go over some areas I've already worked on, adding some more definition to the back mountain range and some more highlights with white. trying to add in highlights and shadows where I see them in my reference photo. This landscape, it looked very soft really. It's a heather and the soft greens. And there in the valley there was some sunlight coming through the clouds. That's why it's lighter green there. There's some yellow and white to make that light colour. Putting in some more highlights in the front. And yeah, it's not a super detailed painting. I'm mostly using a large round brush. I think it was a number 10. And at the beginning I used the flat brush, which was, what was it, I think a number 9. And if I'm not smoothing it out, then I'm using the texture of the brush to add some texture. Be interesting to see if anybody tries painting this themselves. Probably not at this point, but I'd really like to see it if anybody did. So maybe I'll list again which colours I used. So mostly for the sky, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, some cadmium red. In the foreground, a lot of sap green and cadmium red, and also some ultramarine to darken the colours and make more of a purpley colour. And some yellow and white as well. And I think that's about it. That was all the colours I used for this painting. There's a little road or path I painted in. I usually try to paint the sides of my canvas as well. I missed a spot on the top of this canvas. I will add that at some stage. Yeah, now for the foreground, because it's closer, you will see more detail, and I'm just kind of making the texture for the foreground with my brush strokes. So I did say that you start light in the background, and as you come closer to the front, you become darker. That's not entirely true for the whole painting. The colours become more vibrant towards the front, and it also depends, of course, on where the light is hitting. But I do have more blue in the background and warmer colours in the foreground. And especially something that's far in the distance, that would be very light then. Some more detail being added here. I'm nearly finished the painting at this point. I add in some little flowers and piece of grass, and some more heather in the foreground. And then the painting's nearly done. I hope you enjoyed my painting demonstration. Maybe you could even call it a bit of a tutorial, if you like. And yeah, if you liked it, I would be happy if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I'd be very grateful if you did follow me. There it is, painting in the sides of the canvas. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd be very grateful for that. That would really help me out. And you can also find me on Instagram, where I post a lot more paintings that I didn't take the time to film. And yeah, there will be a sketchbook tour coming up soon, I hope. Just 3 more pages left in one of my sketchbooks. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.